what the 49ers decided to do with this draft. Now, mind you, they made a lot of picks. They made a lot of trades, so to speak. The first big trade was the Trey Lance trade. That's still paying out. I think this is the last year. The second one was Christian McCaffrey. And not having a fourth round in this draft definitely stings. I have gone on record saying I thought the fourth round was loaded with value. They start off the draft with Jair Brown. And I really like this pick. It's one of the best safeties in the class, in my opinion. And, I don't think you can go wrong getting a DB out of Penn State either. So, I actually really like this pick. I know there are some people just like tearing this draft apart. And to a degree, maybe I'm one of those people. But when I go back and I look at it, I mean, look, the Jake Moody pick bothered me. I just think that's way too early, to pick a kicker.
After Robert Aguayo, come on, Robert Aguayo, Buccaneers, come on, y'all.
Well, also, I know this is one of the top teams in the NFL, but picks like that are how you kind of set yourself back a little bit. Maybe this will catch up with you. If it doesn't now, if not now, when? You don't want to know, right? So, I mean, to me, this is somebody that just, when I watch him, very versatile. Jair Brown, can play all over, the back end of the secondary, whether it's safety or, nickel. I think he could play on the outside as well. I think he's just another really high character guy. Feels like a Niners pick, kind of plays similar to, ex-Steelers safety Ryan Clark. I've actually seen that comparison a few times. And he's just so good in run support. And that's what you like to see. Safeties that they don't just want to be ball hawks. I mean, this guy can actually bring something else to the table. And the guy's instinctive. You like to see that in your safeties. So I think the 49ers going out and getting him, that's pretty much the type of guy that they would like for their secondary. And keep in mind, the 49ers have done a nice job with defense, drafting defense. They've done a nice job, drafting secondary guys. I mean, they got Hufanga in 2021, the 5th round, and he's turned into an absolute stud. So, you can't really, discount what they've done. And I think there's a chance that Jair Brown is their starter day one. And if so, I mean, that's pretty good to have a day one starter. You're getting, not the tail end of the 3rd round, because 87th is kind of, is it in the middle? It's kind of towards the end, but not totally the end. But I like that pick. The problem was the Jake Moody pick. Kickers, it's just not a great value there, And they had another 3rd round pick that I thought maybe overdrafted a little bit, but very intelligent. One of my guys, played in big games. Cameron Latu can block, can receive, make plays after the catch. He's going to go there with George Kittle, who can block, receive, make plays after the catch. And, they already have, they got Braden Willis later on in the draft, another tight end out of Oklahoma, who it's weird. I don't normally see a ton of interest when a team is linked to another player. And it's weird because he's a 7th round talent. And that's not me knocking Braden Willis. That's where he was drafted. But oh my God, I saw 12 tweets about how the 49ers were obsessed with Braden Willis. I mean, you would have thought this guy, they would have picked him in the 3rd round, how much they loved him. So it wasn't a shock to me when his, name came through. But I think, the name of the game there is you're going to get a safety start day one. You're helping your secondary. The kicker, they lost Robbie Gould. I understand that, for anybody that wants to come at me and say, you don't understand. No, I get it. I just think it's way too early. Cameron Latu is going to be the number 2 tight end, I think, behind Kittle. Braden Willis is going to be fascinating to see because they really like him. Luter, Darrell Luter Jr. out of South Alabama, turned heads at the Senior Bowl. We'll see what ends up happening with him, but he just felt like a Niners pick to me. Robert Beal Jr., you're getting a guy who was decently successful, at Georgia. And I know he was a top prospect, so a top recruit coming out of high school. So I think they expected more, and that's why he fell. But Ronnie Bell is another one, and D. Winters. Those are 2 guys. Ronnie Bell at Michigan just seems like a Niners receiver, can make plays after the catch. He'll fit in there like a glove, and he doesn't really have to get his hands dirty, for another couple of years, because there's still plenty of guys in front of him. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Danny Gray, last year's 3rd round pick. They even have, Ray McLeod and, Chris Conley. So I think a guy like Ronnie Bell has a chance to kind of sit there, learn special teams. Maybe he's a draft and stash on the practice squad. But with D. Winters, that is a very good pick. If he ends up being a starting linebacker in a year or two, or maybe he just outplays Oren Burks right out of camp, I won't be surprised, because that guy is a good football player, played for a winning program at TCU. He's a big reason that team won a lot of games last year.
Yeah, no, the fact that they got him in the 6th round, Jake, he's a captain, that's next level. The 49ers, they might be LBU, Jake. The prestige of linebackers that have walked through those hallways are next level. They might have the 2 best linebackers in the league right now. So to add him to their mix, that's a major compliment. My notes for him: he plays with his hair on fire. His hair is on fire anytime he's playing. He's a great tackler in open space, and that's the best thing that you can ask for, right? Is for your guy to tackle in open space against these fast receivers and these fast playmakers. Let his defense to a championship, Jake. Like, come on, fam. If you're the linebacker on the championship team, I want you to come over where I am. So he's gonna have to play special teams, though, Jake. With that linebacking core at the 49ers, he's gonna have to play special teams. He's gonna have to earn his way on that football field. So I love that pick. But going back to the top with Jair Brown, I thought about this, Jake. I was like, the fact that they have Hufanga back there, we talk about Troy Polamalu. He's been able to act like he's about to blitz and then go back and intercept the deep ball. Jair Brown, my man, can step into the A gap, right? Blitz the quarterback. He can pop out, create an interception. He can blitz. He can wrap. One-on-one blitzes with running backs. Even tackles, Jake. They don't stand a chance with him because he's fast, he's strong, and he can get in and out of his cut. So he's dangerous. He's dangerous in the back. Being a defensive back, but he's also dangerous at the line of scrimmage. He's made a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage. You see goal line plays. Jair Brown is making them. So he's just an all-around ball player. I wouldn't go to say like a honey badger, but he has that, like, I'm a football player. No matter where you put me, I'm going to cover somebody or I'm going to go blitz and I'm going to go tackle somebody. So Jair Brown, super athletic, just like a football player. What do you say? You call him just a football player. So
yeah, just a football player. No, I agree with you. He's a really good player. I like, the football fan in me just wishes they didn't take Moody so high, and I would give a much higher grade on this draft.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Yeah, what do you have for him, Jake?
I've kind of wrestled with C+ and B- because I do feel like this draft class could have been so much better, and they had so many picks, and I feel like they got some, like, the guys that I feel really excited about. Jair Brown, okay? Latu to a degree. Like, was he in need? Not really. And did they pick him a little early? Yeah, because they have George Kittle on that roster. I like Winters a ton. I think Winters is a lot better than a 6th round pick. Luter Jr. is interesting. Beal Jr. is interesting. Also guys that, like, Beal, I wouldn't have been surprised if he didn't get drafted. Braden Willis I had as a UDFA. Ronnie Bell I find interesting. So I would say, looking at this draft, I'm going to say C+, because I think it's fair too, because I think Jair Brown keeps it from being a C, because he's a day one starter, and I think he's going to be really, really good. The Moody pick's just too high for a specialist, in my opinion, just too high, and it's why I can't give him a B- in good conscience. I like Latu, one of my guys, but I would have had a 4th on him, like a late 4th. Luter Jr. I felt like was, probably around a 5th rounder, so they got him where he was. There were other cornerbacks. Like, honestly, if they got Travius Hodges-Tomlinson instead of Luter, I think that would have made more sense. Yeah, I like the D. Winters pick is the only thing that really has me like, whoa, okay, like, So I'm gonna stick with C+, but okay. I have a feeling that D. Winters is gonna be a starter. I have a feeling, like, down the road, Jair Brown's gonna be a starter. Jake Moody will be their starting kicker, obviously. I don't feel like Latu, Luter Jr., Robert Beal, Braden Willis, Ronnie Bell will be starters. I think Bell will be a good 3 or 4th receiver. Jalen Graham is almost as intriguing as some of the others because he's he fell because of his measurables, but the guy just plays faster and he's way more intelligent and way more instinctive than most of the linebackers drafted ahead of him. So with the 49ers getting a hold of him, wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being something. The 255th overall pick out of Purdue. So yeah, Cam, I'm gonna stick to C plus.
Yeah. Jake, I'm gonna go with the C. I'm gonna go with the C for the 49ers. Just we talk about the Braden Willis pick. We talk about the Latu pick. I feel like those are both backups, right, to Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk. So Juice is what they call him. So I think they're both backups, right? Like we got Willis. He can line up in the backfield, catch passes like Kyle. And then Latu, yeah, he's gonna be back up to Kittle. So yeah, I'm gonna go C with that. We talk about like starters right away. You just listed them with Jair and Jake. Anybody else though? Are they going to start? We don't know. But with Robert Beal Jr. coming out of UGA, I like him, Jake. I like that pick. Reason why I say that is because all of his other teammates went in the first 3 rounds. So, you got to, he plays hungry, like he plays like a starved dog because, I talk about a dog and the dog is barking behind me, but that's how he plays, Jake. That's how he plays. He knows that if he doesn't get to the ball fast enough, the other guys that got drafted will get there, right? What is it? Closed mouth doesn't eat. And so he plays like, he has something to prove. So I like that pick. But yeah, overall for me, a C for the 49ers.